Welcome to Single Moms Unfolded. Thanks for tuning in. I'm your host, Kelly Viera. This is a podcast for single moms created by a single mom to help single moms. This is our safe space to love, to connect, and grow together. Welcome to Single Moms Unfolded. Today we are lucky enough to have Ioana Cozarescu Kind. Hello, welcome Ioana. How are you today?
Hi, Kelly. I'm fine. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming back and talking to us. We appreciate it. We learned so much last time. We wanted to have you come back. So
I will.
Today we're going to talk more about, you being a working parent coach and being a owner and founder of Elite Coaching. And so tell us how you got to be a coach.
So a little bit to the backstory, just to make a transition. I was a social worker, a teacher. This is my training. I loved working in social work, and my husband was a social worker too. So we were a social worker pair. And after he passed away, this is more than 10 years ago, I continued to work as a social worker, a project manager, and I realized that I cannot achieve the financial impact that I wanted to. I realized I actually went to the bank and said, can work part-time in order to juggle it all with my kids. How does this look financially for me for the next at least 10 years? And they said, well, it did not look good. So continuing to work part-time, even with a master's degree, because I invested in a master's degree in management, was really taking a big hit on my finances. And I then realized, well, what are the ways, where can I invest to work part-time and have a financial impact, or at least a no-cap impact? And we are lucky enough to have the internet. It's absolutely an amazing resource that is at our disposal. And it was actually during Corona, and like a lot of other people, I was teaching. I was a math teacher, and I had to teach my students and my two kids from home at the same time.
Oh, that's not fun.
Alone.
Right.
No, it was zero fun. And not even that, but all three schools were not flexible enough. So I had to talk to three schools and said, I cannot do this Zoom call at 9. 3 people want me to do a Zoom call at 9, teachers of my kids and my students. So I cannot be in 3 places at the same time. And I did not feel there was a flexibility back to my needs. So while they all were very happy when I was flexible and, before coming in evenings or on, Fridays or catching up some work for colleagues who were sick, when it was the other way around and I needed really adjustments in flexibilities, it was a struggle. And they were like, can you really not do it any other way? I'm like, no, this is three schools are asking me the same thing. And this was like the last straw when I said, this is like no employment gives me the flexibility and financial impact that I'm searching for with the limitations that I have, having to work part-time in order to juggle everything. And so then it was like, okay, I need to create something else for me. I need to find and create something else. And because coaching and supervision was a part of my master's degree in management in mental health care, was very close to say, let's try this out. And I've been consulting without parents for 7 years in an association for free. So I had a track record of already doing consulting and coaching. What I did not have any record on was asking for money for what I do.
Yeah.
So that was a totally different ball game because teacher, social worker, you just the kids come to you, the clients come. You don't need to sell anything in that way.
Yeah,
sometimes I think it's good. But
that's the hard part about your own business, right? It's
yes,
fun doing, it's interesting, but actually making money and selling your stuff is it's a challenge
that's
for sure.
yes.
So when you talk about being a working mom coach, what does that mean? Who are the people that you're helping? Obviously, moms.
Yes, it's. I really do. Some dads ask me, but mostly I do want to invest my time to supporting moms because statistics and show that they are still doing the lion's share of care. Even with divorced parents, it's still the moms that do the biggest part of the mental load of organizing, of shopping for clothing, of doing a lot of medical appointments, school appointments, and so on. So, no matter what your situation is, as a single mom, you are 99% of the time doing more. Even then, widowed dads, as we have in our association, we had widowed dads too, and they had a lot of help in cooked meals and so on for a much longer time than the moms.
Okay.
So I said, well, I want to invest in supporting moms. That's my most of the time goes for coaching moms. And I have my clients are very different. I have a mom; she's a divorced mom in Berlin, outside Berlin. She's doing creating an alternative village. I have a mom who's in corporate. Yes, in corporate big pharma industry for years and doesn't get to do the next career step. Somehow she's stuck under a glass ceiling and wants to figure out is she going to invest in doing the next master's or career or going on her own. I have a mom. She's a clown. She's doing this theater as a clown. She's been widowed for a long time, but she's doing. And she wants to promote her services more. So I have very, very different clients. All of them, all the moms come to me a lot of time in the point of overwhelm or also like under a glass ceiling. So these are the two things, either overwhelmed and sometimes crying or coming late to the appointments.
Okay, because physically, yeah, it's just too much.
Yes.
So how do we do it like something like that? If we feel like we can't get ahead, we're just stuck in this spot and we're trying to keep it together for our kids. How do we deal with this?
So the biggest, this is my opinion, it's a bit controversial, but I put it on LinkedIn, I put it everywhere. One of the biggest roadblocks for moms is that they do too much unpaid work, including housework. And they take on so much unpaid housework and organizing. And so in working with me, one of the biggest work is decluttering your to-do list, not by actually doing the things, but by cutting them off. And it comes from a management. So in management, you have tasks and you prioritize them around impact according to your goals. So if a mom works with me, I say, what are your goals? What do you want to achieve? And then you learn to prioritize your task according on how much impact they're going to make on you achieving your goals. And then sorting the Legos out in bins kind of like really takes the last place on this impact scale. And I really support them in doing much less housework. So really decluttering their to-do list.
You spend so much time laundry and dishes and yeah, I could spend 2.5 hours a day probably cleaning up and well.
And I have a lot of moms saying, but this is how I recovered and so on. And I'm like, there's a different quality of recovering doing dishes or laundry or getting a massage.
That's true. And I'll take the massage any day. For sure.
Because it's going to have a ripple effect. And we don't start big. I have another client, she's in the USA, and she was really struck right before Christmas. And we did it, and she said, I don't think I can go to a massage every week. I said, okay, once per month. But it's not just so you learn that cleaning, organizing, and decluttering if someone pays you to do it, okay, but not if you do it unpaid over years. Even Marie Kondo, Marie Kondo with she's this decluttering queen.
Oh yes, that book, The Art of Tidying Up. Yes. Love that book.
And Marie Kondo, now I never locked the book, Kelly, because I was like, this is suspiciously clean.
I was like,
this woman is like,
how can I do that? I mean, I never followed the rules because it freaked me out, taking every piece of clothing and throwing it in my room. But I was like, what happens if you did that?
And Marie Kondo has a newer interview with her. Well, now she has 2 kids, or 3 even. And she said, well, the rules that she wrote back then when she had no kids or 1 kid kind of don't apply right now. I'm like, yes, because if you have more kids or your kids are really young, then you spend so much time cleaning up if you want your house always to spark joy. So I teach my clients to readjust the way they think when they see the mess, and to invest their time more in spending connected time with their kids, not in cleaning the kids' rooms, but in going out to doing something fun for both. To invest more time really outside of the house. So many moms are almost only in the house or at work at house, but not any other spaces. So invest time in networking, intentional networking.
Wow. So some that we've mentioned time. Well, let's go back. Now, single moms, what do you think the biggest issue with single moms? Like, what is something that you notice that we're doing wrong, or that we're messing up, that's making our life harder? Besides wasting time getting unpaid for doing our housework, what else are we doing?
We're attempting to climb Everest with no oxygen, I feel.
Yes.
So we're and we're attempting to do a lot with no help. So I feel also because there is not much insight in the support system of moms and single moms to say it is possible because you have support. So I have cleaning. I have a cleaning lady that comes to me every Monday. Actually, it's the day that I love the most now because kids go to school. In the morning, I go to the library to write for my business, and she cleans the house. And when I come back on Monday middag, it feels like at midday, it feels like I can do this the whole week. Oh, it's amazing. And I used to dread Mondays because after a weekend, I was so tired and like, oh my God, now it's work and it's never ending. And by readjusting the way my week starts, Sundays are relaxed. Like, oh no, she comes tomorrow. So it shifted my whole week to have that support on Monday morning.
That's nice.
I have people that help me with the papers, with the taxes. I had in Corona, when I had to teach my students and my kids along from home, I hired a laundry service.
Oh, okay.
I said, okay, almost everything was shut off. No, we could not do almost anything, anyone coming in the house. But laundry service, so I invested. They came and picked up the laundry before my door and brought it back a week later. It helped so much during Corona to have this. And now I don't need it anymore. But I know that if life adds up tasks, you need to delegate or eliminate something else. So you cannot just like add up, stack it up.
Right.
And just be more efficient, more productive, more efficient.
Right. Yeah. A lot of the moms are racing against the clock, right? We're racing against the clock to get so much done. How do we stop that?
The first thing to realize is that nobody's going to stop the clock for you. So you do not get from outside the break you need, from the job, from the partner, from the neighbors. Everyone will ask you to do things. So, and when you're tired, actually, you have more trouble saying no. That's a stress response. So the biggest thing is to realize that the clock doesn't stop from outside. You need to smash that clock. And if you want to create a different journey for yourself, you need to invest the time and deprioritize other things. And I don't mean Netflix, because a lot of people think, oh, you watch less television. No, for a lot of moms, that's a bit of dopamine they get and a bit of relaxation. So do not cut off whatever joy you have. Cut off the housework. For me, I'm really cut off the housework and invested time in courses, mentoring, and the second thing I would say for single moms, see that you invest in skills that are not so close to operations, so like higher paying skills. So you can start as a VA, but see that you can have it on your vision board to be the coach for VAs, not the VA, because you just charge more. So in your financial planning, see that you have skills that you can charge more, so just to grow, to not cap yourself. And all the operation skills, like cleaning, decluttering, secretary work, administrative work, nursing, even teaching, that have kind of a cap. They have no evolution in finances and impact.
Right.
You need to get out of there. You need to invest in a long-term vision that has a different financial return. And you need to really, like with finances, that there are so many resources out there, to look at your money with no shame. A lot of moms have shame around debt, and doctors have like 10 years of learning where people pay for them to learn. And we have so much shame around debt. And as I'm a Swiss-based entrepreneur or mom, I have learned in Switzerland that has a totally different approach to debt and investings, that it's nothing to be ashamed of. It's sometimes you really need an inflow of cash to get you through things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And just looking at your finances with one client, I did this exercise, like it's like looking at the weather and say, well, what's the weather today is -10, but there comes a different season. And finances is a big one that you really need to look at, because
I like that, looking at the weather. I think that's really cool, because it is, when you're starting out, sometimes people are starting out with nothing and you're like just grasping at straws for groceries or rent or whatever it is. And you do feel embarrassed when your child comes home and says, okay, well, I want to sign up for soccer. Well, guess what? We can't do that right now, and it automatically goes to shame. But when you look at the weather, okay, you know what? We can't do it for spring, but summer, we're going to work hard and try to get it so we can make sure you're on the summer team. I really like that. That changes the energy in it. You don't feel so heavy.
And you say, like, let's look at some data. What is now, and sometimes when you have like season sale, and you invest for the next year that comes. So sometimes you buy the really expensive products for winter sale. You're going to wear them next year because it's going to come.
Right.
So financial mentoring and planning is an essential thing to invest in, to be able to get out of this just living paycheck to paycheck, and not be ashamed of your learning curve, not being ashamed of also doing some investments that's not going to pay out.
Mm-hmm.
So there are some. I also, in my coaching journey, I paid for coaches that did not deliver, or for example, group coachings. I'm not good in groups. I learned very quick some things, and others I need more time, and got stuck in the middle and like, okay, now what?
Right.
So it's all learning. And because we don't have so much finances, we cap the learning. But
that's true. We do. I feel like I can't afford to invest in myself right now.
Yeah. And the thing is that if you create and invest in your skill to make money, you will be more relaxed with your kids in school too. You will not put so much pressure on them having the best grades and then getting that job and being kind of slaves to a job. You're like, wait, there are options.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be a different journey. You create a different journey for your kids and generations to come. You shift that.
That's great. So when we're starting in the beginning, what are a couple keys to reinventing ourselves? Investing in ourselves is big, right? Always invest in ourselves. Don't be ashamed of our finances. And is there anything you'd like to add to that? Reinventing yourself and
Yeah, I think that truly learning to enjoy to be alone, not as a second best option, but as one of the most amazing options there is. It's tied to investing in yourself. You are an amazing company to yourself, and truly, for example, going out to a restaurant alone and enjoying, channel your inner Hemingway or whatever other man was before you and did it with no problem. And, stay there, take a notebook, drink some wine and enjoy your presence and be confident and rooted in your own presence of being alone. And, it becomes one of the most joyful things of single parenthood. I feel that if you invest in your being alone, in your own hobbies, lean more. So, for example, I started painting, taking some art courses.
Oh, nice.
I don't know if you see it. Right? This is not mine. Okay, but this you can see them. You can see them.
Oh, very nice.
Yes, it makes me so happy, Kelly. I go to a painting course 3 days. I'm high on happiness, and it has no meaning for my kids or for my house or for my career, for anything. It just really truly sparks joy.
Yeah, for you
me as a human.
You know what I fell in love with since I got divorced? I love power tools and like building stuff, like sawing stuff and like drilling stuff. I mean, my things do not look wonderful, but it's like,
well, look at this.
But it makes you happy, so that's all that matters, right?
Yes.
It's really,
yes.
I go out to the garage and like, okay, what can I make with all this cool stuff? It's like,
well, that's amazing.
It's like really like empowering and like, okay,
yes.
Yeah. So,
and we can get into this state of flow, and positive psychology tells us that every time you can go into this state of flow and forgetting the way around you and just this expanding feeling of creative, this is so healing, and this is essential to implement into your day, and you're going to be a better parent when your kids come back and more relaxed and you can start. I mean, I don't think we need to tell moms to always look for the cheapest way of living. I think that's an added pressure of saying, if you just, don't drink the latte macchiato, you can buy a mansion. It's not true. And there are a lot of financial decisions that show that it's not true. You really, truly need mentoring if you're not coming from a finance background. But there are ways for the internet and there is so much out there, but you need to really see, what do I want? I want to have a happy journey as a single parent. How do I do that? How do I, do emotional healing, nervous regulation for me? How do I bring happiness to my life, regardless of who is else in my life, partner or not? How do I create more joy, finances, and this on my turn part? And it's a compound effect. The more you invest thoughts around this, 2-3 years, it's going to, like in the beginning, it's really, really tough and it takes off. Mm-hmm. 3 years later, like, oh, wait a second, I know this. I can do this. Yeah.
That's wonderful. Wonderful. So how do we get a hold of you? We would like some elite coaching. How do we get a hold of you?
So elite coaching is because I believe that parents are like elite athletes, especially single parents, and they need coaches to really get that mindset to recover quicker from setbacks and to stay on their focus. Even Roger Federer, Serena Williams, every elite athlete who has extreme talent and time has coaches to help them cope with emotional challenges and so on. So this is why I created elite coaching. I said, what is the best kind of support parents need? And you find me on my website, www.elitecoaching.ch for Switzerland, or on Instagram, elitecoaching.ch, or on Facebook, The Thriving Working Parents. It's my Facebook group where I go live and I talk about the mental health tips and also the reinventing part of career and business online.
Awesome. Thank you so much for all your time. We want to thank you for tuning in today. Every Thursday there'll be new episodes, so definitely check back. In the meantime, feel free to follow us on Facebook at My Happy Place and Instagram at My Happy Place for Life. That was with the number 4. Remember, you're smart, you're beautiful, and you got this. See you soon.